Yep. So comfy. All right, good evening. We will call the Watertown Park and Rec Crestbrook Park Golf Course Subcommittee meeting to order at 6:08 p.m. on May 2nd, 2024. Roll call.
Joe Brown.
Ken LaRosa. Our others present, Al Nichol, Bill Dunstan, Herm Cena, and from the restaurant, Joe Romano.
All right, I'm gonna do something different tonight. I'm just gonna write that down. So our members are Joe,
Pat, and Ken.
Ken, others. Joe and Michael. Seven, right? Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
8.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, Bill, thank you.
And Bill.
And Bill. I can't forget Bill. No. All right, so we'll move on to public participation. Seeing none, we'll move on to approval of minutes from April 4th.
Second. Second.
All right. Any additions, subtractions? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Who
Pat made the motion?
Pat made the motion. No, Joe made the motion, Pat seconded it. The only thing I have for correspondence, well, I will bring up a little bit later, is the changes that are taking effect as of today up at the golf course. Saw the email that went out today.
No.
Okay. So I'll move on to reports, my chairman's report. Now I'll talk about this meeting now. I received an email from the golf course. Changes taking effect starting 5/2/24. I have one question on the first thing. The last 18 hole must tee off by 3:30. I think it's supposed to say last 18 hole cart must tee off by 3:30. And one of that's the last 9 hole cart must tee off by 5:30. That's so they get the carts back by 7:30, 8 o'clock at the latest, and they can get out of there. Twilight rate will start at 5:30, Monday through Sunday. They will be enforcing, this is the big one, they will be enforcing the no outside alcohol or coolers. For years, we've looked the other, we've always had this in effect. For years, we looked the other way. People bring alcohol because a lot of times the shack wasn't open for years. We didn't always have cart people. So now that JoJo has taken over the shack with the help of the restaurant, they're out there quite a bit more often.
Who's JoJo?
JoJo is Marty's girlfriend, but
Oh.
she's in charge of the shack and then
Okay.
all the cart girls, cart people.
Does the shack sell booze?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Well, the liquor permit for that falls under the restaurant.
Okay.
So they are liable for any alcohol in that course, is technically they are liable for it. So they're gonna be inspecting coolers. They're gonna allow coolers if there's water, Gatorade, soda, anything like that will be allowed to go on the course. But for legal reasons, the alcohol must be bought at that shack. Like the girls will be going around, or the cart people will be going around taking care of
And when is
that.
it as in effect of when?
Today,
Oh, today.
So if they buy it, they still can take it on the course?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, so technically all their carts are alcohol free.
Fine.
Okay. And then in this instance, all weekend tee times booked before 1 p.m. must be booked online and prepaid.
All tea times before 1 p.m.
Well, weekend tee times
Weekend tea times.
before 1 must be booked online and paid online, unless you have a membership, then it takes care of itself. But
You can't go to the course and say, hey, it's your time. I'm assuming.
I don't know, maybe if you call, I'm not sure. I know he's trying to just, get it all centralized. This is standard in most golf courses. I don't know if he's been having a problem or not, but
I'm sure if somebody shows up and there's a hole.
Right.
he's very good at that. So that was the email that I had received today.
So I have just one comment on that. And Joe, you can tell me again, I'm way off base. Inspect the cooler.
Yeah.
You know, is that, you know, should we first try to do basically say, there's no alcohol allowed. It's an honor system, and if we see where it's being abused, we inspect. I just, to me, it's a little bit intrusive. I don't know, Joe, what you think about that, but I mean.
I've never looked in a cooler. We try to do things with the honor system with people. Is it taken advantage of? Yes, unfortunately, but that's.
But that would be my only.
Life we
Yeah,
live
but that
in.
might be why they're going to this stuff, because people probably have already said.
Oh, it's bleeding out there.
Yeah. But that's what I mean.
And we all do it. I've done it, you know, we all do it. We all bring a couple of beers with us when we go out on this Monday night, you know,
Mhm.
because we don't know if the shack's gonna be open, we don't know.
I play bad enough, I don't need any alcohol. But anyway, that was my only.
Until they make cans 7 and 7 by.
But that's my only comment on that whole thing, so.
I'm gonna ask Marty about that first one. All right, so that was that. I don't have any, we didn't get any information on it, so it's gonna come up with, there's no season passes. Well,
Hold
looking at,
on, yeah, I think
okay,
that wasn't in your packet.
this was, no, that, it was not, but this was just something else too.
Let me see if I happen to have. Okay, so that was more information.
When you keep looking, I'm gonna move on.
Okay,
Has alcohol been a problem on the course?
Out.
People running into trees and things?
In tournaments, yes, we've had some serious issues. But day to day, no, but it's, again, a restaurant, if somebody does drink over, consume and gets hurt, it's their leasing, they're the permittee, Joe's the permittee, as a matter of fact,
Okay,
What happens on a tournament?
same thing,
They can't bring their own.
no, they're not gonna, we bought.
Okay.
I mean, it's gonna be a fight for this year, I can guarantee you right now,
Yeah.
I mean,
People are gonna back out next year's tournament.
I don't know if you know JoJo, but JoJo's a tough girl.
Yep.
Marty had sent me an email last week, about season he took a picture of Waterbury's board, the price board. Our greens fees and everything are right in line with them. Our season passes, and I went back and looked at this today, are quite a bit cheaper than almost everybody in the area. So I think, looking at next year, it may be something that we may want to take a look at, to bring in more revenue, maybe just, just bump those up. He likes the prices, the greens fees, he's fine with that. Don't want to do anything on it now, it's just something that he had brought to my attention. It's nice to have somebody that is out there looking around too.
So I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
Who refuse to buy season tickets in Waterbury. Because of that number, that number, so. If, you gotta just be careful that if we bump them up, you don't wanna hurt that number, maybe that's why we have more.
Are they Waterbury people?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Residents,
but they come to us,
yes,
so they pay more anyways.
right,
Actually, their resident, right now, their senior resident is the same as our non-senior resident.
because one of the other things there is 18-year-old kid,
17 and under can do a 235 summer
which
lift.
Waterbury is like, I believe, through the roof. For that same.
No, Waterbury is 235, we're 300.
Okay, one of those, because I know somebody just came to Watertown because of differential, maybe it's over 17? Or is that?
That would be a full.
So what is the full compared to Waterbury? Hours.
A full when you pay this, with the surcharge, we're 900. Waterbury, and I'm gonna do this, because if you go to Waterbury as a non-resident, Waterbury is 1250. But a resident Watertown is 900, resident Waterbury is 925.
Mhm.
Non-resident Watertown is 1100, Waterbury it's 1250. Greens fees along the same lines, they're 1100 for a resident, 1300 for a non-resident. Waterbury is 1225 for a resident, 1550 for a non-resident. I mean, you're getting up there in prices, but I can,
Yeah,
you can see numbers on here that,
I just agree with Joe, you just gotta be careful.
I know, I agree, that's what,
We have a whole year to
we
do
have a whole year to
Yeah.
think about it, I just want to, just let us know where we stood on it, where we were numbers wise on it.
Because I never did a comparison until it's a friend of my daughter's.
Yeah,
She bought her son season pass in Crestbrook, because she said it was so much cheaper than trying to go to Waterbury. And so.
yeah, and
So,
You can still raise the rates and be cheaper.
and
yeah, I mean, just something we can
And for years, you used to hear how, oh, you know, Western Hills, I could play $28, 18 holes with a cart.
Yeah,
You know, we can't fight that, but, you know, this is.
Right.
Any little extra will help, if you just wanna watch your greens fees. Like I said earlier, the course, I was up there yesterday, the course is really drying out nicely. There's still a couple wet spots, but it's not bad. I mean, and talking to Marty just the past week with very minimal rain. You know, it was kind of windy, sunny. It's coming along nicely. It's really starting, it's amazing how a month ago you went up there, it was dark and dingy, and nothing had bloomed. Now everything's starting to bloom, the grass is growing. It looks beautiful. I have to talk to Marty, one of the apps, the handicap apps, or the yardage apps, Jim's yardage app is all messed up. I've gotten a lot of good responses on switching to 9s. A lot of questions why, you know, we just answer, and once you explain it to them, they understand, and they actually agree with you that it's more advantageous for the course. They sprayed the courses past Monday. They opened a couple hours late for it. The sprinkler systems were up and running. They did suffer damage in the earthquake. I lost a couple of lines. Those lines are 60 years old. They're cast.
wow.
So a little bit of jostling. Anything that was weak, I let go.
Yeah.
We get FEMA money for that?
That I don't know.
And Tom talked to Ray and said that we should possibly put in for any kind of reverse. So whatever.
From the state?
Yeah.
Take the state on that.
So, and that's about it for my report. So we'll move, that's director's report. Mike, you have anything to say?
Yeah, did you ask about reports?
Oh, yeah, in general, yeah.
Okay. So here is a report, you guys may be more familiar than I am with it. This is some kind of report.
That's our season, that's our pass, season pass.
Past the date, and nowhere on this page does it give us the sum.
Yeah, go down, right,
Okay,
154. So we're still about 20 or 30 short of last year. Which is, it's not early, but it's still, you got college kids coming back soon, so you can pick up more along those lines. So that's good. I mean, we like season passes because we get money into the coffer quick. But we live and die on greens fees because that's where the money is.
What did I say, 129?
154, 12,000. A little over
1,000.
Yeah. Take me in.
All right, and here we have a.
120,000.
120,000? Oh,
128 something.
Oh, is there revenue on that?
Yeah.
Golf leagues.
golf leagues are all set. I have that one.
Okay, anybody wanna review that?
I have that in my packet. And I got the also.
Pretty healthy calendar.
Yep, nights are nice.
See that, Joe?
Yes.
Joe's in four of those leagues. Don't let him kid you.
Oh.
I'm in two wonderful leagues, Monday night and Wednesday seniors.
Beautiful. All right, let's see, do you wanna listen to tournaments?
Yeah, I just to make sure it's changed, what do we got? I don't know, Solo Cup, Troop.
All right, so we're starting here today.
Lions,
Mhm.
Juniors, Little League, Hockey, Knights, Northfield, RJ, Troop, Solo Cup, and then the police tournament, which will be the next page, right? Okay, so I'm all current on that, cool. Anything else?
We just,
I'll let you know.
we're gonna have to take like minutes
You
here.
need to learn shorthand.
When's the next tournament?
June
Something, I think.
June 10th. Like blank?
No, I can't. How's that?
All right, and then, bench application we can go over later if you want, right?
Yeah, we'll go over in the full, or you wanna do that?
We can do it in full.
We're doing the full,
Yeah.
that way Billy can explain the current policy, and we can, make a decision from there. That it is, it's not, wasn't in mine, it was in, I think it was in just the full packet.
Okay, so moving on, the initiative that I have at the golf course right now is to work around the clubhouse to try to beautify that a little bit. So we're gonna take out some overgrown shrubs around the building and plant some different younger shrubs and, flower and mulch accordingly. And then on May 23rd, we're having some volunteers, students from Taft come over and they're gonna help mulch some beds and, do some, maybe, well, I don't think we're gonna plant, we'll plant the plants, but they'll keep busy for a couple hours. We'll in fact have 30 students in total, probably 3 groups of 10 at various parts of the volunteer projects.
That's good.
Had a productive meeting with Mr. Romano and Steve the other day. Talked about just trying to make sure that we're all on the same page, and I don't book something at Prestbrook Park, well, he's got something like that, the restaurant at Prestbrook Park. So just try making sure that we're on the same page. And that's all I have to report for tonight.
Any chance we can get them to paint the porch?
Paint the porch. Probably.
Okay. It's just getting a little,
Okay,
it's peeling and just, I think that would,
all right,
not to, love to paint the whole building, but I think the porch itself is,
okay,
could use some love,
all right.
just a thought.
I'm sure it'll be even better when we dress up the front, right?
Yeah, I'm sure, yes, new paint, new everything,
All right, we're cool. I mean, I'll inquire about that.
We ever don't stop at the front, go around the back. Maybe a $11 hose reel on the side of the building, so they can roll the hose up. And I know it's like cut golf balls and busted white buckets back there and coming off the driving range, and the back of the building looks kind of shoddy. Just basically general maintenance and cleanup.
Okay,
I mean, if they have a thing so they can just put the hose up instead of laying all over the ground and everything.
all right.
And it helps the wear and tear on the hose. The hose lasts longer if it's up on, instead of being dragged all over the ground.
Do we ever get volunteers from our schools?
I'm pretty sure, yeah,
We do?
yeah.
Okay.
I know there were a couple Interact kids from the Rotary that are local students that cleaned up with Earth Day.
Alright.
And I'm sure Carrie probably gets involved a little bit more with that kind of stuff.
Right, then we'll move on, no foreman, no golf pro, move on to the restaurant representative.
Okay, again, Michael said, I thought we had a positive meeting. Jessica was sitting in also with Steve Martino, myself and Michael. We discussed a few things. As far as communication goes, I think we have made some progress in that area. Knowing, this year, you were very generous to let a couple organizations have their final Saturday golf tournaments, which is, I know, a busy day to begin with, but it's fruitful for those organizations plus our restaurant. We appreciate that, and I want to thank the commission. Took care of, as far as the noise ordinance, Michael, here's a copy of that. That's registered through the police department. We have a nice working relationship with the Watertown Police Department and the Watertown Fire Department. So when we want to continue that, we're busy. I mean, our leaks for our rainy, early, late March, early April, it's always rain, it's Connecticut. And I know our Monday league, guys, we have a lot of laughs. I mean, we have a good crew, and I speak for the seniors on Wednesday mornings also. The weather's gonna get better for that, because as Joe could tell you, sometimes you get there 7:30 in the morning, and this time of year, it's not the warmest. It's
It was foggy as heck,
We have guys-
this Wednesday, I don't know.
we have men in that league into their 90s, and they're a little more viral than me. I mean, they're ready to go. Our other leagues seem to be working out pretty good. That's the, first I heard as far as the cooler situation at the golf course. I think if you keep that in check, it's always been an ongoing issue. I know, the other courses are very, very strict. You'll go from the municipal courses to private courses are your level of strictness. Like Bobby Ferrati, he'll throw you, goes right in, they take the cooler off the cart and they confiscate it. We're not gonna be, like Joe said, treat that with kid gloves. Our restaurant is open for alcohol or all beverages, and of course, the snack shack, I think they're doing a great job in there. There should never be a time where you're not able to have a cocktail. And it doesn't have to be alcoholic beverage either.
Correct.
That's all. But everyone, Marty deserves to make some money up there, and I believe we do also. But yet again, let's do things with kid gloves. I'm very,
That should be a conversation between you and Marty and JoJo.
sure.
I don't know how hard you guys wanna go.
Your commission is,
Yeah.
you're the governing force of Park and Rec, owns that golf course, town of Warren. Park and Rec is, they call those shots.
But Joe, you're liable, right? If
I
anything-
am liable, yes. Like someone called me the other day, can they have alcohol at the gazebo?
Hmm.
If you are a adult, you are more than welcome to have alcohol at the gazebo if purchased from
The restaurant.
Sunset Grill. And there's, that's been a little contention over the years. But it's not Woodstock up there, you know what I mean? So I think it's been pretty decent. Honestly, I'm finding it nicer than it ever has been up there. I love the way, between the Marty, Park and Rec, and the maintenance. Got very conducive, no one runs into the building, we, a little hiccup here and there, and they handled that so well, I wanted to say. They couldn't have treated that young lady who was a friend of Billy and myself. She was shook up, and boy, they treated her like, compassionate, let's use that word.
That's good.
Until her husband got there. And she had to work about him. But thank you. And if there's any more we can do for you, please let us know. That's all.
Has there been any headway on the menu?
The menu, they've been working on it. I watched them doing a new menu today, put on a couple more specials. I know we had post-college there last night, and they walked away very pleased.
The pub menu for Monday nights?
For Monday nights, if you have any suggestions, please throw them our way, Billy, and it'll be on there,
Hot dogs.
you
I
know.
think put two hot dog special together, that one too. Double hot dog, I mean, it's easy,
Yeah.
the profit margin on them. If you get some more guys eating up there, then
We ran out of hot dogs at our senior banquet yesterday. Some of the guys were
They
drinking.
were free.
yeah.
Great.
There you go, that's why.
I thought the vultures were.
They were. Took
And
three home for
and
dinner.
they were very polite about it. And the ones that didn't get theirs, because they were doing a couple extra holes, on
Oh,
their
yeah.
way in. And we made sure, we got a strong Wednesday league.
Me too.
It's getting younger, more, so,
That was that close to joining.
that would be nice.
Couple more years.
But anyways, yes, positively, give suggestions, please, and they'll be well taken.
Joe, somebody made a comment to me, and I don't frequent the restaurant.
Right.
My wife has some issues, so we don't go out to eat too often. But somebody was saying that there's a lack of a kids menu. So I don't know if that's true,
You know what, you're probably right.
and they thought that they would.
We would give, you know what? We have never turned away a child, as far as we have the chicken tenders and the other things on there.
Mac and cheese.
And if they ask, but that's something maybe we should put on there.
I think it would, be, because they said, well, there's nothing here for the kids.
And believe it or not, though, they can have, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you're right, and we have the resources to do it,
Yeah, it's just a small portion, right?
put it on.
Because if you're a family and you're looking to go out for dinner, I know I go online and look at the menu first.
Right,
If I say, well, I'm bringing my 5 and 7-year-old, what are they gonna eat? And there's nothing on there, I may think twice.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So I gotta look somewhere that's gonna have a bit of accommodate kids a little more.
And I think something on the menu to say, if you don't see it, ask.
Yeah, kids
You
portions
know,
available.
Kids portions available.
Yeah.
Children's portions.
Just so they know that. Yeah.
Yeah, because and truthfully, my boys, you know, Joey's down the other end of the state, but Michael, and they're up there, you know, once a week or so, but they also go to Uncommon Grill, who's a Jay guy, a very close friend of mine. But we're talking, it's
Right.
extravagant.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're very free with the children with sodas and this and that. A lot of restaurants are not. And so maybe the eye candy, Joe, would be better
Can't hurt.
if they see it,
Yeah,
they'll be there.
maybe next time, even when you advertise, maybe put up, children's menu available
Yes,
or something, just so people know. Just, that was a feedback somebody mentioned.
I like it.
So,
I think it's wise,
You
because they're our
always
future.
You always have hot dogs available
Yeah,
for a kid.
right.
There was nothing better than when I was a kid, going my father golfing to the old country club up here, or the Western Hills when it opened, to get a hot dog. But to have chicken tenders available, they had to be frozen, obviously.
Mhm.
And if they're not consumed, then they all go to waste. How long can you keep something frozen like that, Joe?
cooking from frozen,
No, they come frozen, so,
Yeah.
but,
6 months to 2 years, depending on.
yeah,
I'm cool.
we have,
And we're-
you don't have the storage facility up there,
That's what I
so
mean,
we
yes.
move it, you're right, Herb.
But look at the 2 or 3, what do you get, Cisco 2 or
Yeah.
HBC a couple days a week?
But I like to do a few more like fish and chips.
Yeah, I
and
love the
that.
fish and chips.
I go see your son
I
on
know.
Fridays because that's what I like. I like clams, fresh clam strips.
Mhm.
I like that sort of stuff. And we could do a little better, guys.
Did you say already you have chicken tenders up there already?
Positively, yes.
Yes.
We always do.
Yes, they do.
We get the Logue family come in from, Woodbury.
Yeah.
They come in 20 strong sometimes. They're there for Mother's Day. They got 60 something, I believe.
Wow.
Down, they take the whole downstairs. Out of that, 50 of them are kids.
Oh, geez.
They
Farmers.
they're rabbits. Yeah. So, yeah, we have it. And like Joe says, put it out there
Yeah.
so they can see it.
Good.
All right, thank you, Joe. We'll move on, we'll go to old business, there is no old business pending at the moment. Under new business A, we review and consideration of submittal application to tournaments. We have nothing, we have no applications of indoor tournaments, pretty much I think all our tournaments are in. We may get 1 or 2 here or there, but that seems to be, most places are in by now, it's May 1st, you have to have a place set.
We hope that one we had for late November that they canceled.
Yeah,
I just found out that they donated most of the money for the poles and the lights at Reeves Field over in Thomaston.
wow.
They're putting them up. And big thing that later on, we get this conversation every so often about lights on fields in the water towers. Little League requires the aluminum poles. Oxford just put in lights, because they're gonna be hosting the regionals for 11U this year. And difference between the wooden poles they put in, same height as the aluminum poles, it was $245,000 for what they put in. It would have been $475,000 for the aluminum poles. That's 7 poles. The price difference. It literally requires the aluminum poles. I guess they have something with Musco lighting. And we always get asked about the land down here, okay? Little League is the only league that requires the aluminum. All the other leagues, they don't care, they want their height, and then they come out with a meter, it's called kilowatt meter, and they check for dark spots and everything. They could care less whether you're putting them on a pole, wooden pole or a aluminum.
Yeah, why is that with the aluminum? So kids don't get splinters?
No, they're behind the field, they're off the field of play.
Play.
Well, Moscows aren't high enough either.
Well, no, I'm talking about just the material.
The fields ain't long, the field isn't deep enough anymore.
Right. But,
So,
but what's with the difference between, why do they do?
You'd have to have somebody from Little League, I have no clue.
Okay.
Little League, to me as an umpire, Little League comes up with some of the stupidest rules. You're going, you can't head first slide to a base. So if you're stealing second base from first base, you cannot head first slide. You're automatically out. But if you get in a pickle off between second and third, he could be going, he could almost be stepping on the bag, the kid gets the ball, and he takes off back for second base, and the kid fumbles the ball, okay, and he head first slide back to second base. That kid's neck and head is exposed just as much running backwards to a base as it is going forward to a base. But going back to the base, I can't do anything. Going to the base, you're up.
Also, if he's dives head first into third, he's out.
Going to the base, yes.
In a pit when he's caught in a rundown.
Yeah,
even that?
yeah, going to the base.
No, he was caught in a rundown, if you say he's,
If he's
No,
in
even
a
in a rundown because he's advancing to the base.
makes no sense.
He's
Coming back to second base and then saying,
You only signed that first on the base he came from.
So that's why I can't answer your question, but Mike, you'll hear people, groups come up every so often talking about lights.
Yeah.
And the last time we looked at the land, it was probably close to $800,000, and that's gotta be a good dozen years. Only because of the shape, it'll be up the odd shape for left field. So you never saw, how come we don't have lights on the fields? That's why.
Alright.
So,
Makes no sense, Pat.
we'll move on to new business B, which is the season pass update. We notice here's 154, last year, I want to recall, it was 194.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that area. It's still, like I said, it's still in the world, we should pull a few more college kids coming back.
The season has.
70,000 more was again.
Yeah, no, but it'll be mostly kids, the $300 ones, kids coming back from school that will only play from now till,
I know, will we make up $70,000 between now and the end of the year?
and season passes, maybe not. You hope greens fees covers that, that's.
Yeah.
But the 190 was just passed.
You would rather have less season passes and more round
Sure,
goers,
sure.
because they're paying the full boat, they're not paying the season.
There's guys up there that play 200 rounds a year.
Wow.
That's for $1,000. That's $5 a round. Think about it.
Wish I had the time.
Yeah. Gifts and donations, I'd rather refer this to the full commission, that way we'll all be in on it, and Billy can explain the policy that we do currently have in place. And I'm gonna assume policies and procedures are the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that's it, does anybody else have anything?
So a question for the Staber Fund would be for the whole.
The whole commission, yes.
Okay.
Question, if state reform is for the.
Anything else? Then a motion to adjourn?
So move.
I'll second it.
Anybody against it? All in favor?
I was looking at you.
I was ready, I was ready.
6:34. Thank you, guys.
Next.
Oh. You owes one today, baby.
As I said,
The 6:50. Just came from school.
okay, call the meeting to order at 7:03. Okay, roll call, please.
Kevin Rosa,
Al Michael,
Peg Jermaine.
don't speak with your mouth full.
Joe McGrath.
I'm chewing.
Karen Aldi.
Bill Dunstan, okay?
What about
Corinne is not.
Herb
Also present.
as
Herb is
a,
also
he's
present.
a rep for the town council.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nobody here for public participation? So we move on to the approval of the minutes for Thursday, April 4th, 2024.
So moved.
Okay?
I'll second.
Is there any deletions, corrections, comments? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? And I abstain, I was not here for the. Correspondence?
I don't know if you have the same thing I have, but that's what I printed.
We have, first one from Golden Technology Services, dated April 6th, and, sent to, Mike's attention. Chamber of Commerce and Exchange Club of Waterbury. Thanks for the town's donation of 2 Crestwood Park twosomes to the Chamber of Commerce and Exchange Club's fundraiser events. Sincerely, Justin Golden. Justin, I believe, was the chair for Rotary. Yeah, it's something that we've done for years. Any of the fundraisers, like Knights of Columbus, like they give back a lot to the community. So we take them down for rounds of golf. Hopefully it's a thing that we think that most of the time people want to come back later to play. So it's it's a goodwill gesture that works out very good. Okay. Next one was from Jackie Post from Michael. And it says, thanks for the follow-up. Planting a tree at Crestbrook in honor of my father-in-law, Jim Post, is very important to us. He was very well known and liked by so many in Watertown during his 35-year career as a teacher at Watertown High School. We've heard from hundreds of people who have shared stories upon the impact he had on their lives. We look forward to hearing back from you when we have an update. I see in new business under C, we have gifts and donations. So we will carry this forward to new business C in the following. And then Harry Godfrey's update with all the things. And pretty much all the summer programs are filled up and going. I see we had new classes for women's self-defense, first aid, CPR, regular adult self-defense, pickleball clinics. Pickleball is huge. Oxford, I was in Oxford with the umpire the other night, and they dedicated 2 full courts to pickleball. And Oxford, I was out at Oxford, they're doing a lot at Positano Park out there, and they put in what we're gonna have, originally concrete base. And I guess they're gonna have 2 full-size tennis courts and pickleball courts to the side. But they're doing it right out there, and I saw a picture in the paper, 47 trucks of concrete, wow, to replace the tennis courts at Pomperaug High School. They were pretty much like ours with drainage around the side, but asphalt. And I did a tournament out there last summer, and they were, I think you had maybe 1 usable court out of 8, maybe. And that was pushing if you really wanted to play tennis bad. So we got spring swim lessons around going, we filled it out. And we had Festa Tales, Watertown Fall Festival Committee now is meeting. Rick Saradrea, I don't know if he's still gonna chair that. And then the rest of it you can read. I'm not gonna go through the rest of the ones. In my correspondence, my report, I'll talk about a couple of the things that are coming up. And we go. So that's it for correspondence. Reports. In reports, first of all, I want to apologize not being able to make the last meeting. I had a personal health issue, and I tried. I just couldn't get here. If I did, I would have been going back and forth. And let the commission know ongoing. I don't know when I'm going to be scheduled for surgery. They said 4 to 6 weeks. So 4 could run into the next meeting. I'm really not sure until I get from the scheduler. I'm gonna have robotic surgery at Hartford Hospital. And hopefully that'll give me another 65 years to live. And I'll be good to go. So again, I apologize for not being able to make that meeting. But I am looking forward to getting this thing done and over with, and off we go. The good news personally is nothing cancerous. No cancer. So that's the good thing. All right, moving on. There's been nothing done at Jericho Road or the Greenway as far as updating or anything with getting the property line and everything at Jericho Road or with the what you call it, Cherry Hill. Nothing, so that's nothing's been done with that. Okay.
Bill, just something for that. There's a woman, that's part of the Lions Club. She's the bee, the beehive. She owns the beehive.
Cat, Wilco,
Yeah, I think, she's in,
Catherine Wilco,
yeah,
I
I think
think.
she's in the Pinch Up Pot.
Yeah,
I mentioned to her to contact the town to see, because she wants to do something called a pollinator project.
Okay.
It's supposed to be for monarch butterflies.
oh,
And I suggested that that might be a good place down along the river because the monarchs usually follow water and so she may come up with that.
Okay.
And just planting certain plants
Yeah, that's
along
great.
that walkway. So
Yeah.
just, I did pass it on to her.
Get
So.
some butterflies down there, you know, I'm all for Mother Nature being there. Okay, Memorial Day Parade, okay, is handled by the Veterans Administration in Watertown. We're going north this year. We gotta walk uphill. People will be a little bit tired out, okay? And again, there's nothing really we gotta do. Most of it is Mike and the staff, they ask for some tables and things like that. Hopefully by then we can arrange, because again, Public Works has to put the flags out. We've got tons and tons of flags, mounts are already up there, just a question of stopping at every one and going before we get the parade done. Then anything else goes through the Memorial Day Parade Committee with the Veterans Commission. Okay, I said something to Mike tonight, the front entrance poles, which I don't know why, it always seemed us. The front entrance poles still have St. Patrick's Day green on them, and we can get them to
I
red.
think that was changed today.
It was changed today.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
To what color, I don't know.
But they were changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured about time, you know, Memorial Day coming up and then the 4th of July after, I figure we'll go back to the red, white, and blue. The pink maybe for Mother's Day, Peg, yeah, it kind of, you know, it's.
Orange and black.
No, black and blue.
Orange and black, yeah, orange and black for the town colors. Okay, we, no farmer's market this year, okay? We have 2 dates, set in stone now for the, block parties. And I explained in previous meetings, block parties, because of the one we tried down in Oakville was very unsuccessful. And people had no parking, nobody, we keep the block parties up here on Main Street. And we started, what's called it, with.
Depot Street.
And up through. So we have the pool, again, they're doing interviews for lifeguards for the pool. I don't have a count of how many people signed up. I hope a lot, because if not, we will be keeping Sylvan Lake shut down again. The primary thing is lifeguards for the high school, the programs we do there, and for the pool at Crestwell. And Sylvan Lake falls number 3. Echo Lake, people have asked me about Echo Lake, and say, we can never get the water clean enough, the bacteria count after every rainstorm just skyrockets because of everything coming off the hills. So for all intents and purposes, Echo Lake, as far as I can see, will never be a swimming hole again. Just the bacteria count, we just can't get it low enough to conform to what we need.
I think the last time it was open for swimming was back in the late 80s. And when Mount Fear went up, all the runoff from the Gulf
Right.
and the silt, that's what they did.
And we've, how many other sites have we added that are dumping down the hill there, so.
Are we ever gonna get the sprayer going? Downtown?
That's should be on the, what you call it, John Bono's, we should have that on his, what you call it, agenda, his schedule.
I went by it, when I went by it today, it did look very murky.
It is, it's just very good quality.
Brown, you know, from the rip when it comes off, it just.
Again, it's coordination with Public Works, because we don't have the boat, they got the boat to go out and drop it in. Ray Marks has the old one, and again, you gotta coordinate with Public Works to put it in, and we need electrical work out there. And when last time I talked to Ray last year, said to him, I said, we don't need to dig up the road, we can run the line underneath the dam. Don't have to dig up the road, run the electrical line out to the dam, because that was one of the big problems with the old one, so it got hit by lightning. Back then, they didn't have surge protectors and everything that you need to protect your stuff, so now, once a new line is run out with a surge protector, then we can take the old one from here, which they found what the problem was a nicked wire, water kept getting in and shorting it out. When that was found, it is up at, the maintenance shed at Crestbook. A lot of people have said,
It'll look good.
it's gonna be the one over here, it doesn't have the color base, it's just the water spray.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the lights in there, yeah, I would like to have the lights, especially for the restaurant, but I'll take just the regular water spray at this point in time. So, right, that's where that sits. And, last, but not least, we had, a situation in water down here, okay? Where up at the park, okay, there, I noticed some damage being done, and I said something to somebody. And they politely told me to go take a long walk off a short pier, they can do anything they want. So if anybody sees anything, just call the police department, not 911 obviously, but we're commissioners. And remember a long time ago, we had a commissioner, Ron Russo. Ron spent a lot of time, but he would wait till a commission meeting. It's way too late then. You see somebody doing something, damaging something, just call the desk at the police station and they'll send somebody up and handle it.
Where was this that you had that problem? I'm just curious.
But
Where do you have that problem yourself?
there was a couple kids up there, older kids, and they had big sticks and they were beating on the playscape in the back. Okay, figured they were trying to pick like a cult thing. So I drive through. We don't have a park ranger. We put in for years in it, we don't. I drive through the parks, I see something, something like that, I go to the police right away, okay? If not, after I told the kids to get off, they got lost, so I didn't call the cops that night. If I see something, I report it to Mike. I'm not unemployed. I can't tell people, I can't go to John at the shed and say, do this after. That's that man's job. I gotta report to him, and then he makes the schedule, and if I see something that's broken, that needs to be done, we talked about the walkway lights at Crestbook tonight. Mike has to make the arrangements with Ray and stuff to take care of it. Us as commission, we see it, unless it's something that's like vandalism and stuff, yeah, call the police right away. Or you got my phone, let me know right away, I'll let Mike know, because a lot of times you catch one person, you make that person a scapegoat, and it's amazing how the word gets out. Oh man, I got caught up there doing this or that, the other thing. And over the years, we have not caught all the vandalism. The biggest vandalism we've had lately has been graffiti. That's the biggest one. Nobody really smashing things, breaking things. You know, we had graffiti for a while. You know, Herman, when you were still in the force, they were marking, especially the building here at Echo Lake, they were marking their areas for the drunk guys with their whatever signs, but we really didn't have a problem.
They used to do a real number down in Sylvan Lake
Yep.
in the day.
And now with the lights at Sylvan Lake and with the fencing and stuff at Sylvan Lake, graffiti and people hanging out down there really isn't a problem. But as commissioners, if you see something, say something, and if it's egregious, call the police. If not, then we have to let Mike know, and then Mike can determine what the course of action is from there.
So last week I was up there at the special needs playground, and there was 3 kids up there older, they're probably 16 years old. And they were, a little bit obnoxious.
Yep.
And they were in that spinning thing.
Okay.
And so I watched, because my granddaughter was up there, she's not special needs, but she likes, there's a swing up there she likes for some reason. But anyway, so she went up there, as I was up there, I just watched. And pretty much they just kept on spinning this one kid till he got sick, or on the verge of getting sick. I guess that was fun. But maybe the PD should, hopefully the PD makes a loop. You know, when they're going through the park, if they can just maybe take a loop up by that. They did go away, somebody did ask them, because there was some little kids over there, they wanted to go on there. And the woman says, hey, my kids want, and they went away. So they weren't, they didn't do anything bad, but I think maybe it still should be part of the loop for the.
I know,
They drive up there.
David knew that,
You know better.
My wife's up there daily.
Okay.
You know.
only because if you ask at the department, the number of drug busts that were happening up there, because that was a perfect place, have gone down. They
Okay.
finally found out the police patrolled this, so
Okay,
they moved away.
That's part of their patrol route,
Yep,
is the park itself.
so the police department done a very good job up there.
But
I think that includes, the patrol includes, the lead winner.
are they spinning
Yeah, oh, yeah.
a kid,
Oh, yeah,
a kid, and they were making
kids-
bill by spinning him around?
two kids were spinning one kid that was in the
Their
thing.
buddy.
Yes.
Yeah, their
Oh,
buddy.
good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't nobody.
It was,
No.
it was Joe, he was in the middle.
No.
Let me go, Director, Mike, you got the floor, Mike.
All right, if you don't mind, I'm gonna turn your attention to the board here and I will, I know this is, some of you have seen this before, but at the public hearing, I am on YouTube or through the town's website if you wanna repeat this, and it'll be recorded as well tonight, as well as this evening. But at the public hearing, I reported that my name is Michael Gainem, and I'm here this evening to present the budget for the following divisions: Parks, Recreation, Crestwood Golf Course, Senior and Social Services. I would like to thank the department staff, the finance officer, the town manager for their attention to and assistance with the preparation of the budget, both before my recent hire and since. I'd also like to thank the Parks and Recreation Commission and the Commission on Aging for their dedication and advisement of the departments. Thank you, town council members, for your service, and thank you, concerned citizens of Watertown. I've witnessed to date that the 5 divisions of the Parks, Recreation, Senior and Social Services and Crestwood Golf Course are well represented by some of the finest team members in the industry. Each member of the team's commitment, enthusiasm, and professionalism are to be commended. The slideshow to follow contains a partial list of our parks and facilities. In addition to our athletic facilities, our department helps to maintain the outside of the library and town hall, the open space at the Civil War and World War II monuments, and the gardens at Munson Park. Please note the sampling activities and programs, social and human services, and lastly, special community events. Crestwood Park Golf Course, celebrating its 50th anniversary in 2025, is funded through a special revenue account, also known as an enterprise account. For example, the greens fees offset the operational costs associated with the golf course operations. We intend to boast about the 50th anniversary of Crestwood Park, a park that is much more than a golf course. One can also picnic, play tennis, or go fishing, with an emphasis on cross-marketing this milestone with all of the divisions of the Parks, Recreation, Senior, Social Services Department, as well as to capitalize on the momentum for additional economic development tie-ins. When we work together, be it as the divisions being presented tonight or with other town departments, charitable foundations, and civic and community organizations, there will be positive results that the entire Watertown community will share. And then from there, I went into this presentation. I brought up our mission, which I think I want to change that up a little bit. I don't know if part of needs to be in there, but we're working on this.
Yeah.
We created, if I'm going too fast, let me know. Created an organizational chart. And now from here, we're going to have each of, I can separate these columns out so that each division knows their chain of command. We're in the process of doing that. Our parks include, as you guys well know, over 200 acres plus the 250 acres at Crestbrook, 5 recreational athletic complexes and several pocket parks, numerous multi-purpose athletic fields and diamonds, 4 playscapes, multiple pavilions and gazebos, 4 lakes with waterfront, miles of walking trails, and the Bark Park. Our registrations to date, and this is now a month old, probably before we took in quite a few camp registrations. We have over 6,000 registrations. And then first-time users, 838 first-time users we were using fiscal year for this report.
Mike, excuse me.
Yes,
What is that registrations of again? I didn't catch that.
that would be registrations of swim lessons, summer camp,
Okay, everything.
all the things that basically fall under, when you go to our website.
Yeah.
Click programs.
Okay.
Some of the recreation sports leagues, this is how we come to that data.
Got it.
Watertown recreation swim teams and clinics, youth basketball in town and travel leagues, karate lessons, fall basketball clinics, volleyball clinics, middle school running training, gym time after school clinic, And these are the households right here, you know, how many households. So we have 150 households taking swim lessons and clinics, 350 households taking basketball and so on. So we're tracking all this data, which is easy to do now with the software.
And households, you use just addresses.
Just address, correct. Yep. Household is defined as people living within the same address.
Okay,
Some of our youth programs are summer day camps, which there's several categories of. We have swim lessons at Watertown High School, cooking classes, theater classes, children playscapes, little scientists, babysitting courses, hip hop, ballet and dance. What I like about this list is that not everything is sports related. We're gonna try to diversify outside of sports. Kids have plenty of sports, bring them some more art, culture, theater, you know, even board games are coming back. There's youth that just wanna get together and play board games. And we should provide them with some opportunities. Some adult recreation programs include self-defense classes, gentle yoga, dog training. And again, here's the households that correspond with those that participated. Line dancing, karate lessons, first aid and CPR, pickleball clinics, open gym basketball, open lap swimming, open adult lap swimming. And then I touched on the senior center. This same presentation was provided to the Commission on Aging. So there's some statistics there. Then I went into the golf course, where I wanted to make sure that we mentioned that it is an enterprise fund. So your letter would be well timed, Bill, if you're gonna do something like that.
Yeah.
And then I reported that the rounds played, for 2023 were 26,000 rounds. And memberships were a little over 200. That was for last fiscal year. And then, of course, we have the revenue, and these numbers match what's on page 73. Interestingly enough, so we'll continue to monitor that. And then we touched on social services, how many families they serve, which is more than many people, I think, realize. And community events that we do, and Billy spoke about many of them, Night on Main Street, Zombie Escape Road Race, ice skating, a craft fair, Touch a Truck, which is coming up next week. Don't Worry, Be Happy, Fishing Derby, which I attended, it was pretty cool. Earth Day cleanup, I attended that too, that was very well attended. The rain until we started, which was better than raining while we were there. But we didn't think the forecast didn't say it was gonna stop. So we got lucky there. Coolest canine contest, entertainment at the park, battle of the bands, pool and foam party, trick or treats, back to school pencil hut, and Friday night frenzy. And some community events that we partner with. Shamrock Shuffle, the Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans, Halloween at the Firehouse, Santa Light Parade, Memorial Day Parade, Fall Festival, Korean War Memorial Service, 9/11 Memorial Service, Special Citizens Christmas Party, Cookies and Milk with Santa, Wreaths Across America, Pearl Harbor Ceremony, Veterans Day Memorial Service, Harvest Cruise Car Show. So some of the things we do here is supply some chairs, tables, tents, and it's nice, you know, sound for some of these things. How many people are gonna have sounds, you know, an amplifier at their house? So we've got it. Town paid for it, let's share it.
Mike, can you add one more to that list?
Sure.
The Watertown Police Charity Golf Tournament, Cancer Tournament.
Cancer tournament?
Hey, police cancer
I
tournament.
spoke that, right?
Yeah.
Tournament, what is that, Joe?
golf tournament,
Okay, and how do we partner in that?
Yep,
With the lever.
the lever, Dave.
How do we partner with them?
How do we partner with that?
Yeah.
We give them tents,
Okay,
chairs.
okay.
And the day of, a couple of the employees are up there to help with traffic control.
And that's, I'm gonna put a question mark here, because I just don't know, is that the right name? Police Cancer Tournament?
It's the last golf tournaments, it's the last golf tournament of the year, so it's
Alright,
beyond that page.
we'll fix
It's
that.
the Watertown PBA. You should check with.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the PBA,
It just is Watertown Police Department.
it's the Watertown Police Department, PBA,
Okay,
we do stuff with the PBA, but.
well, let me know if you miss it, if we're
That's
missing
like a
something.
big response. from
And then
throughout the-
we touched on the budget, some of the increases that we asked for, our budget was hardly increased. I think that was partly because Lisa was in transition and I wasn't in, and it's gonna be lean, as you know, everything's going up, the entire budget is whatever, 3% increase, 4% increase, and here, our section of the budget is, I don't know, less than 1 potentially. So, I'm a little nervous, so we're gonna start July 1st. Planning that we're gonna end the year pretty lean, and you don't wanna find out in February that you're gonna be short next month, so.
Right, interject.
Yeah.
Okay, so witness to your presentation, as was you anticipated well in advance. There wasn't any naysaying questions, as were other department head presentations. You covered everything.
Well,
You
good, thank
ran the
you.
gamut from all the different divisions, and I think the audience received it well. There wasn't many questions, because you went to,
At the public hearing for the budget,
yes,
I heard nothing but positive statements.
yes, for
All
part.
night long. Positive statements.
So now the town council voted to reduce the recommended budget. We have a reduction of almost $5,700 in the senior center, basically transit operator line. So again, we'll have to probably forecast what we're going to do, forecast how many hours that'll take. And if we're going to be short, we're going to have to scale back in a couple of
Mike,
months.
was that cut by the manager before it even got to the council?
No,
No.
but I'm, relatively, it's a big cut because we didn't ask for any increases, so we'll have to see. So that was the presentation that I gave at the public hearing. Thanks for watching that again. For some of you that have seen it a couple times,
Quick question,
sure,
are all your statistics gonna be fiscal years? Which I think is a good idea,
maybe,
okay.
maybe,
Most of the
that
stuff
depends.
Most of the stuff goes into the budget. If it's fiscal year to fiscal year, it's easy to compare, that's all.
Sure. Thank you. Carry out what you carry, and I believe I mentioned that probably at the first meeting, that we want to strategically, in lieu of trash receptacles, place signs that say carry out what you carry in. I think it could be a well-received, initiative. There probably will be people that complain about it, but their argument is so weak and, nobody wants to pick up after anybody else, nobody should have to.
Carry out what you carry in,
Yeah, but where, is there a
all
specific?
parks and stuff.
I'm gonna let John more or less determine which is, and because sometimes he might, it takes 3 hours to pick up trash on the other end of town, maybe 4. 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, that's a lot of resources, so if we could just get people, even if they're on the outskirts, like Echo Lake would be the place that I think this might work out well. Lake Winnemog is somewhere where it might, you're still gonna get the mattress from time to time, and the desk chair, or whatever winds up there.
Yeah.
Or worse, but I think by and large, people will find other places to dump their garbage. A lot of times in these receptacles, we're moving household trash.
Like dumpsters on department stores.
Right.
Mike, I did leave a message for Carrie about the playground. I happened to be up there again with my granddaughter, and Teddy was there. And a lot of kids just, didn't know what to do with the papers, and they were carrying them around for a while, but then I noticed there's papers around. Either we try to do something around the playground for the kids, I'm talking more.
Did we get him, we didn't put trash?
I don't know, no, I'm just gonna just make a comment. Or maybe we can sort of ask Teddy to encourage the kids, hey, we can take the wrapper off, because Teddy the ice cream guy has a hole in the side of the truck.
Good point, yes.
And maybe the kids can throw the garbage there before they walk away with the ice cream. I mean,
He's
he's,
not been at all.
Why, does he set up in the same spot all the time?
he's always in the park.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
He goes up by the little parking lot by the Lions Club Pavilion.
He is the only
He parks up
permit in
there.
town.
Yes, the only ice cream permit.
Just sell ice cream.
And so, I mean, maybe just,
Yes.
maybe we just ask him to help us in this effort.
Teddy Seaga is his name,
Yeah,
his permit will be here, because
I
he's
saw
here.
it just came through this week.
Yeah, he's been doing it for decades.
Well, what are you asking again?
Well, maybe we can ask him to encourage the kids to throw the paper. I think it's a clown's nose. You throw it into the clown.
Right, okay.
Yeah, maybe just ask him if he can help, control the papers.
Put a sign up.
Just a thought. I mean, I'm just sort of,
A red arrow down to the clown's nose.
I'm just talking off the top of my head.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe a way of trying to help you accomplish the same thing.
Okay.
That playground adjacent to the basketball courts.
Yep.
I had the pleasure or displeasure of accompanying my wife with two of my grandchildren there. And I know we were talking about the ice cream, the kids. And you know who wasn't policing their kids? Their mothers.
Oh, yeah.
Their grandmothers. And I can tell you from recognizing people in town like we all recognize each other, they were out of towners. And they were just throwing the wrappers, the kids, and they weren't even trying to.
Yeah, yeah, so I saw some of that too, so.
A lot of times the kids are gonna, or the adults, will just take the ice cream and walk away.
Right.
So they're not gonna even be near the truck, but yeah, I know the garbage pail you're talking about.
Yeah.
Used it many a times.
Good one.
And then the staff is busy with typical springtime preparations. Everybody's out of their mind right now this time of year. Angels Playground, I've been trying to make some headway on that. That's turning out to be more of a challenge than it really should be. So I don't know what the nuclei is, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What's causing this, but there's something just doesn't seem to be.
I think because there's so many layers of people that you have to go through, there's been so many people involved over the years, and it's morphed into something much bigger than they ever thought. I mean, they're still doing playgrounds for, most of the, now in the middle of the country with the tornadoes and things like that. I know when they left here, they were going to Norman, Oklahoma, which had 11 deaths from a huge influx of tornadoes. And they were heading from Watertown out to there. I think that's the problem, like it just morphed so big to different layers to get through.
So we're trying to work on just repairing the few things that need to repair, not going overboard. Cause the playground, it's, if we replace that playground in 10 years, 5 years, it's gonna be probably a little bit more of a commercial size and weight.
Yeah. Where is it?
Does everybody have the same issues, man, around the state?
I don't know.
Is there any towns we could reach out to and just ask if they've had,
Yeah, I can do some research.
I mean, just get their feedback, maybe they've already crossed this bridge.
Well, most of those are out of, what you will call it.
No,
New Jersey,
well, there's,
New Jersey was a,
because we had problems when I was still working.
Yeah.
With some significant vandalism up there.
Yep.
And we had such a hard time contacting somebody.
Yeah.
About initiating the repair process. And there were we had no
Where was-
contact.
where was the first one? The first one was down in
New
Newtown,
Jersey.
right?
Yeah.
No,
there were-
No, I'm talking about for the Sandy Hook project.
no, there is nothing in Newtown. That's why the last one that got put in, number 26,
Was us,
is us,
right,
okay? And Newtown did not want one.
okay,
Okay, so they got, I think there's one out in Groton is the farthest east. Most of them are New Jersey, New York. I figure, well, that's not Newtown. And I don't know what the formula was to figure it out. But the last one was because the principal, Dawn Lafferty
Right.
Hodgkin, was originally a Watertown native.
right.
Okay, she's living in Woodbury.
Related to the Laffertys.
Right. And the last one for us was this here, so getting hold of them, you gotta find them, they're in New Jersey. Then I think there's one all the way down in Delaware. So they're spread out, most of them are spread out along the east coast, near the oceans and stuff like that. Nothing really inland. The only other one in Connecticut I'm aware of is out in Rock.
I think in the short term, the town ate the repair damage. It was done.
Maybe, okay.
Yes.
And then Sylvan Lake, we are doing a little bit of, taking a look, a deep dive into Sylvan Lake. One of the things that I'd like to do, I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to get anchors in the water and get set up for swimming this year, plus the lifeguard situation and trying to be as efficient as we can, and maybe not spread ourselves too thin. So I might take advantage of that, of this time to monitor the water so that we can determine if that'll be open on a consistent basis. There's no sense chasing that if it's gonna be closed every other week.
That's
Sylvan Lake.
Sylvan's got the cleanest water in town.
Yeah, I just wanted to take a summer to monitor it, to see that that's still the
Yeah, we do
case.
that, you know, Sylvan Lake is the clean, the streams and it's spring fed, spring fed. And that thing, the cleanest water in town. That's a good thing, but if we don't have the staff.
You know,
It's a
and
good point.
we've got, it takes a lot to open it up with the dock and the things like that. I think that stuff's starting to get old. It's heavy, and we've got part-time seasonal guys doing some of that work. It may be more risk than the reward. When it's all said and done.
So some of that area around Sylvan Lake Road, I know, I just had an event at Grand Oak Village, and Angie was talking to Jerry about trying to clean up along the lake there, along Sylvan Lake Road. Because it's a little bit not so nice, not so sightly, it's sort of unsightly for, with all those people going into Grand Oak Village. So Jerry, I don't know what the outcome of that meeting was, but I know that Jerry was gonna look at it to see if he could clean up along the shore line of Sylvan Lake on Sylvan Lake Road.
And Jerry's,
Jerry is.
Lukowski. Okay, good.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I noticed that the other day when I drove by. It's like people seem to be using property that doesn't belong to them.
right. So,
Maybe he was gonna do it because it was within or without the roadway, Silver Lake being a public road.
yeah,
And down that end, that's I'm gonna say the eastern end.
Okay.
Visited that area many times, looking for missing people that turned up later on deceased,
Yep.
right? And it is kind of like, I can't see, I just can't see Park and Rec getting involved.
no, I'm saying, but Jerry was gonna I was thinking that he might clean up
Yeah.
along the
You
road.
can clean up along the road to see the bodies better.
Yes.
So,
Well,
In fact, the pond was drained way back when. We had to drain Silver Lake Pond looking for somebody deceased.
Yeah.
And it was drained, and they found a stolen car in the water.
Yep.
A safe, they had been taken, both from Waterbury, of course. And the car had been driven off the rock.
oh, really?
And we're very fortunate that we haven't had a fatality in maybe 10 years.
Long
of the
time.
rock.
Yeah.
Well,
You were well aware of that.
Yeah, we had the last
Pat
year.
Areola, I can't remember his brother's Pat my age, but his brother's died.
Tony? It was Tony, wasn't it? Yeah, he was more of my brother-in-law's age.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, got anything else, Michael?
No. Thank you.
Okay, three quick things. You mentioned about, board games. Board of Ed at Judson School has a beautiful table. It's the rubberized thing, and you got chessboard, checkerboard right in the table. It's nice. So if you want to understand board games up there, it's a small square table, but they got it right in the middle. And it's rubberized stuff that lasts forever and ever and ever. Put it up like near the playscape at Veterans Park. And good. I appreciate the thing. And first of all, spreading out everything that we do. Because people, what's Park and Rec doing? This puts us in the forefront that we are a quality of life department. Excellent presentation up here. And I think this year is something we can get it on the town website and keep it there so people can go in and see all the different things. And then, of course, you're gonna be adding things, and go, oh, we forgot that. Zing it right in, so. I appreciate, I'm sure the other commissioners really appreciate the time and effort that went into this.
Yeah, good job.
It is
That's
excellent.
nice, good job.
Very good.
So it puts, puts the department a step forward from where we were before. And I can tell you, you like the computer stuff, so we'll keep you busy.
Not as much as the kids in the office. They do this stuff. I'm just giving telling ideas on all day long, just go back and forth, putting ideas, and they, by the end of the
We're
day.
your team,
they're
that's
done.
the way it's supposed to be. So I really appreciate the work there.
You know, some of the stuff we might work on, Watertown Talks. Because the town has, we have a page, right, on Facebook?
Yeah. Watertown has one.
Yeah, but
It's
I mean,
the town of
if you
Watertown.
put up one of those, slides, hey, and just say, hey, did you know?
Right.
And let, you know, it gets a lot of views from Watertown folks, so I mean, it's just
Well,
another
we
way.
even put it on our own Facebook page. I try not to go
Yeah,
outside
yeah.
of the family.
Yeah.
So,
One of the things I appreciate is the names on the org chart. So I can put a
Okay.
name and a face together.
Okay, and Mike touched on, I am gonna be putting a letter in the Town Times and the Waterbury Republican and American about the enterprise fund. Every couple of years, I wind up doing it, I would put the new numbers in and stuff, because people, it gets away from people what an enterprise fund is. When you see that budget item, we're spending $810,000 on the park, when you're not, you gotta educate the people. You know, new people come into town and, you know, they see it, and it's really a misnomer, because on that budget that you see, if they put that there, they don't mention the revenues to offset it. So I'll put the letter together to back up what Mike has here. And in the Town Times and one in the, try to get it in the Sunday paper, closer to the referendum. More people,
Maybe they should put the revenues in the budget for that, so people,
see, it's offset.
there was more revenue than there was expenses.
Well,
You were
it was in the paper today.
Yeah.
Was it? It was, you know, delineated today.
Okay.
It showed the revenue and,
Yeah, there's more revenue than expense.
But it says Park and Recreation, it doesn't have Crestbrook, it just says Park and Recreation.
Oh, that's where the enterprise fund needs the revenue there, okay.
Right, move on, subcommittees, golf course subcommittee, please.
All right, really quick, I talked earlier, but I just bring it up again, I received an email today from, it's called golf facility, it's what Marty uses up at the club, the pro shop to get out to all the members and anybody who has an email address within his thing. There's some changes coming to the golf course starting today, really quick. He wants the last 18-hole golf cart to go out by 3:30, the last 9-hole golf cart to go out by 5:30. This allows them time, it takes approximately 2 to 4 hours to play 18 holes, gets them back in by 7:30, 7:45 at the latest, so they can clean them up, get them ready for the next day and go home, you know. Marty's usually been there since 7 o'clock in the morning to start his day, and he deserves 13 hours. It's enough for one man to work. Twilight rates will start at 5:30 Monday through Sunday. I'm not currently aware of what the rate is at the moment. So I have to ask them. They want starting today, they want all weekend times, tee times booked before 1 p.m. Must be booked online and prepaid, which means if you want to book, you want to play Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning, you go online, you have to book it online and you pay for it right then and there. All the courses are going to this, everything's, you know, prepaid, you show up, that way you just go and you just go play when you're ready.
How do you use a gift card? Can you enter the gift card in the online system?
If it has a number on it, you probably can, yes.
Does that stuff, should that stuff come before us for the golf subcommittee before it's announced?
Well, that was really my question. I was gonna let him finish.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
A lot of these-
No. It's done.
A lot of these have already been in effect.
You just
They're just
reiterated.
right,
Oh.
and yeah, she just reiterated, and the biggest one is, where'd it go?
I don't know.
Oh, no more outside alcohol allowed on the course. They'll be checking coolers to see, you know, because the restaurant has the permit for the permit is the permittee, Joe is the permittee for the restaurant. Technically it falls on them if somebody should drink too much, roll a cart, get hurt, whatever, if they went after us, it would have to go off the permittee, which would then be the restaurant. If you're bringing in outside alcohol, it's not fair to them, so they're gonna be checking down.
For me, the word outside is not as clear. I mean, if you say have it in a cooler and you take it outside the cooler and you drink, is different than what you mean there. You mean outside purchased outside.
Of the park.
outside the park, right? You can't bring it in coolers or anything, so.
So I don't think it's clear enough in that, but go ahead,
And he won't have, he's gonna have a lot of problems to start with.
no matter what.
Yeah,
Okay.
no matter what.
Yeah.
There's gonna be people that are gonna try to sneak them in and all that fun stuff, and some will succeed, some might not. The course has dried out nicely over the last couple of weeks with the lack of rain, minimum amount of rain. The sun and the kind of good winds we had really dried out some very wet spots. There are still a few, but it's getting there. Good responses on the fact that we switched to 9s. People understand why once you take the time to explain it to them. You get, oh, yeah, that does kind of make sense. Course was fertilized the other day, this past Monday. The course opened a couple hours late, allowed them ready to get out there and do it. And we did sustain earthquake damage at the course from a lot of our irrigation lines, and because of the shaking, the fact that they're 50 years old and they're still cast iron, a lot of the weak ones let go. They have been replaced. Irrigation is up and running. It's not a problem. Joe Romano did give to Mike a little earlier the town's noise ordinance for Sunset Grill, so that everybody's on the same page, because that seems to be the one thorn in everybody's side is when the restaurant does something, they have a live band, it's too loud, it's too loud. Now we all know, the police do go up there and monitor it, usually from up on Northfield Road, where I think that's where they have to monitor it from.
But I think they've done also turn them
Away from the people. They usually do, when they have a band up there, their back is usually to a lake and they're
Yeah.
facing
That makes a big difference.
the restaurant. But you get some reverberation off the hill too, so, but you're not gonna make 100% of the people happy. I think that's it, right? Yeah, that's it.
Okay. We have no old business on the docket for tonight, so we'll go on to new business. New business A, review and consideration of submitted applications for 2024, we have none. Pending right now. Okay, B, parks and facilities, I'm gonna let Mike with that one, parks and facilities.
All right, so on the parks and facilities, I mentioned that the subcommittee, we're gonna try to do a little bit of curb appeal at the pro shop, something that we can fit into to the staff's busy schedule, something that we can afford to do, and that the unintended consequences will be minimal. And then we'll try to, if we can get around to start cleaning up the building a little bit, including power washing, possibly painting the deck, those kinds of things. I'll have to see, that might be, for a little bit further out. I talked about Sylvan Lake under my report, about some of the things that we're going to do there. The pool, we're gonna start working on opening up the pool in the next few weeks. Gary Smith will be gone for taking some time, and so as soon as he gets back, or while he's gone, even things will be starting to go, so we'll be over there soon enough. That's it for parks and facilities, also because I reported about the Angels Playground earlier.
Yep.
The memorial sign should be coming soon, that should be up in the next 30 to 45 days. That's all I have under parks and facilities.
Okay, and we have gifts and donations. We have the letter we had in our correspondence about planting a tree for Mr. Post. And policies that we have in effect, first of all, was we were trying to get away from trees. Because they become a maintenance problem. We're trying to push everybody more towards the benches. People sit on a bench, and benches would be more used. And the person here is, willing to donate, okay? Again, it has to be if it is a bench, what we use every time. Got away from all these different ornate benches and stuff like that, trying to maintain them. The metals were cheap, and winter time, somebody sat on them, it was cold, it would crack. And we've got, the ones we got now are strong, durable, and they're made so that you can put a plaque on the backrest part of it. Certain size plaque, will have these big muds of things running about, yay big. So going forward, to answer this person here, yes, we would certainly, welcome a donation, but we're shying away from trees. We found that trees got to be a problem. Cause if they died, well, you didn't take care of it, you gotta replace the tree, and the tree just became a major hassle. And Kenny can tell you that that was a big thing we came up with, policy procedure was that. And John Bruno, the maintenance supervisor, said, so going forward, I'll open the floor to discussion. You know, what do you think? We respond to this lady that you do it with a bench. It has to go through the placement too, has to go through John Bruno. You notice in the park, they're pretty much in a straight line, so that the mowers can go by front and back.
Like I said earlier, I would just suggest, we already have existing benches on a lot of the golf holes out there. Jim Post was a very big golfer in town of Lark. He was very instrumental in the very beginning of buying the new upper nine, front nine, whatever you wanna call it. He was a big part of all that. I think even if we just, one of the benches, not many benches have plaques on them, you find the ones that don't have a plaque on them, you suggest that they put a plaque on that, it'll get visibility. You know, you'll see the bench, you sit on it, you know, in memory of, you know. That's my thought on that, I don't like the tree idea, you know, but.
You don't like the tree idea on the golf course, which I can understand, but how about around Munson Lake? If they want a tree, maybe plant one down there.
Again, you know, I agree with you about word visibility. You use the word visibility. Around the lake, I mean, the only people that are visible, the fishermen.
If you drive in, you can see
You know,
across
and
the.
it doesn't go all the way around, that walkway goes down one side and stops, you gotta come back. And then the side with the restaurant and the pool and everything like that.
I would just suggest if they really want a tree, maybe that would be an alternative.
I know, but the big thing with us was that when the trees didn't take, for whatever reason, they wanted to come back at us that we needed to replace the tree now. So no longer wasn't a donation, was Park and Rec Department had to replace the tree. You did something wrong, or whoever you had put it in did something wrong. That's why we got away from all that, when you said park benches, like Kenny said, you put a plaque on it, they're visible, we got Founder's Row right there. And we just added to Founder's
I give
Row.
up.
No, I don't know what's on there, but I would recommend.
Somewhere on
on
the
the
course, yes.
course. I would recommend.
Somewhere
I
out there.
like Ken's idea, and you answered my question, because I'm thinking, you know, if he was an educator, why are we looking at putting it on the golf course as opposed to the high school?
Yeah.
We can put the tree at the high school.
And it only costs them a plaque, it only costs them,
Right,
the plaque cost
exactly.
in two
And it's
bolts.
noticeable, and,
It'll be
you know,
noticeable.
yeah,
Even if you don't sit on it, you're gonna notice
You're
it.
still gonna notice
It's
it.
on the key box or something around the key box. I should say.
But not on this, not on this.
No,
no.
right,
Right,
yeah, that's right, yes.
Just checking.
Okay, what I'm gonna suggest then, to take this off our agenda is, because the emails are going back and forth with Mike, just to have Mike explain exactly what Peg said. Being an educator, you could have tree or event, we specifically don't do the trees, we do benches. And leave the option open, if you still wanna do a bench at the golf course, or to what Peg said, yeah, at the high school, a tree at the high school would seem more appropriate to me, not to be honest. You know, that's where he's a golfer, a lot of people more know him as an
I
educator.
should, but yes,
So, give Mike a chance to write a note on that, just to refer back to her, that yes, we would like a bench at the golf course, but this opens up at the high school, a tree, I think it's a great idea.
who approves trees at the?
Board of Ed.
That's the board, at the board.
Right, put it on their football field, he was a big
Big
football.
supporter back in your
Yeah.
football.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Bruce Chancellor.
Yeah.
This way here, give that some, we're not saying, no, we wanna offer the option
So
of,
option one is suggest that a tree potentially be looked into, being planted in somewhere on Board of Ed property,
yeah,
or.
or if she wants, at the golf course, then we would do a bench.
And, but I think we're just offering that they purchase a plaque.
Put the plaque, find a bench that doesn't have a plaque on it, and then someone on the golf course and adhere the plaque to the bench.
That's a brutal.
Now, again, so We're might be setting some precedent, we're okay, do we have enough benches for that, or the next?
Yeah, we got a couple of
Just a
benches
case by
sitting up
case
there.
It's a
basis.
case by, everything in here is a case by case basis, if we have the room for it, we can do it. If we don't, you know,
Do we have more?
We'll put it down.
I know on set, on 8, there was a new bench right there.
Would Gold Circle of Sports be, anybody, I heard you mention Bruce Gingell,
I was very involved in the circle of sports at the onset.
I don't know if they would, if she would contact that organization.
she could, to get somebody to purchase the plaque or to just,
Yeah.
because anything the circles has to come, usually comes through us anyways, if they want to put anything out. Well, yeah,
The plaque for a bench,
How much is that?
$75, $95.
it's gonna cost you $50.
More than, well,
At least,
No, I think they were planning on, I kind of mentioned several $500, I think is what I said. You know, we, even at $500, my one term was like, even a $500 tree may not be a big enough investment to do what you're asking us to do.
Okay.
Right, I mean, we have to bring in a machine to do it right, it's not, we're not digging a hole.
yeah,
You know, we
nothing
can
to put
put
the
some
spade and say,
yeah.
there you go.
So, but again, I wanted to, then I said, okay, I'm getting too far into this conversation without going through the proper channels with you folks.
So, we'll make the offer there, we'll do something with the bench at Crestbrook. And then off the option, if they want a tree, then they can contact the Board of Education and what their policies are, I'm not sure what the Board of Ed's policies are.
Right.
But then she has, we're giving her an option. Okay, if we have no further conversation on that, let's move on to policies and procedures. Mike had this put on, and I'm very interested to see, because I know he was talking about consolidating a lot of things and making sure that everybody's on the same page.
So here's what we're gonna be up against, if I can hopefully find this. I had it earlier. So we have a lot of applications for people to do X, Y, Z, right? They wanna rent the pavilion at Vets, they wanna rent the gazebo at, Crestbrook. The gazebo at Apple Lake, I believe there's one. Is there one at Wintermont?
Yes.
Pavilion at Wintermont.
Well, I don't think we, maybe we do rent that one, so let's see what we can find here. Bear with me, guys, I had it earlier too. It bumps me out. Maybe that's it, see, look at this, alright. So basically, I just wanna brief you guys that we're going to start looking at this. And I don't know how involved you want to be, do you wanna maybe, I mean, I think it's a staff thing. And we will have time, we don't have to do this right away, this is something we're gonna work towards. But for example, something came up a couple weeks ago where a vendor wanted to come to one of the parks and I'm not keen on that anyway, and I don't think the town allows it anyway. But somebody that has like outstanding tax bills, right, driving a truck. It's not, the property taxes aren't paid on that to the town, so somebody can rightfully be uncomfortable that Parks and Recreation is engaging in business with somebody that's delinquent on their taxes. So we don't have anything on an application that says your application may be reviewed by even the director or at the discretion of someone. So I'm gonna start trying to tighten these things up a little bit, but not so tight that we don't have some discretion when we need it.
Yeah.
And I think the process should be to bring it all to you guys. We'll give you time, look at them at home, whatever.
Yep.
Maybe you will find some even just typos that we will miss, that would be helpful for us to know. And then I think eventually it gets you guys recommended to the council, or does it not have to go that far?
We never
Well,
sent
like I said,
it, we
we'll
never
get
sent it
council.
that far, no.
No, never gone to the council.
Okay, so I'll confirm that the council doesn't wanna be involved in this. But there's just, it's big, it's gonna be a big undertaking, and this will be done every few years, it should be, and I think it's been a few years since it's done.
Updating, things change. absolutely right.
So this is just updating applications. What is information that's gonna be reviewed for every application?
Really required, yeah.
I'm sorry?
This is gonna be for every application. It's gonna be on every application, the things that could be reviewed to
Yes,
approve the application.
yes.
Sure.
Yeah, something that I think we wanna consider is right now, if somebody wants to rent the pavilion, that's a significant facility. There's no proof of, like, there's no certificate of insurance required. To rent places like that, a lot of times you have to put your, it's not expensive. $35, maybe $50 now, if you have a low grade insurance company, if you got a higher tier one, they're free. They're gonna send you a certificate of insurance that says Michael Gainen is
Insured
liable
for this,
for what happens.
this date from this time to that time.
Yeah, I think
One day.
and we can never be 100% foolproof, but I think it keeps the honest people more honest, right? You're maybe a little bit more responsible when it's your neck on the line.
That's right.
Yeah.
Senior centers requires that.
Okay, right, so that's, again, so there's some inconsistency, so I'm gonna try to get some consistencies where we can and. Not make it too cumbersome for the public, because, we're not here to put up roadblocks. But I think we can tighten some things up.
So if somebody wanted to have a birthday party for their son or daughter, you're saying they need proof of insurance?
If they want to get a permit to rent the pavilion, yes,
Homeowners insurance, what happens if they rent?
their renter's policy would also be able to provide them.
I have renters and nobody has an insurance policy.
Yeah.
This is a tough one, because it's, if you're gonna have a communion party, confirmation party, birthday party, I think it's gonna scare people away. I think people are gonna look at this and I don't know.
What do they pay to rent that anyways?
I think it's 100.
We're not making millions off of this. So if we turn some people away because
I think
they don't have the insurance, we're not losing tons of money, right? That's what I'm asking.
No,
Otherwise, you have people that will be doing it that do have insurance and then they get the insurance that they require.
I would say,
So we're off the hook.
You can't just go as simple as saying that the signee is responsible for all guests and,
I don't know.
events,
That we need to ask legal.
you know what I'm saying?
How does the town insurance cover it? Does the town insurance cover if somebody burns down the gazebo?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think so.
He's worried if somebody trips on a pothole and,
No, I'm not worried about that, I'm worried about people misbehaving, I think it's more to just, don't leave the car. If somebody vandalizes something, breaks something,
Well, what is the insurance for then? Their insurance.
to
If you're
cover
not.
that.
and I think if somebody does get hurt, there maybe it does,
Oh, okay.
maybe that would.
You do pay, you
It's
do
more,
pay a refundable deposit too, don't we?
Mhm.
So we do have a cleanup
Okay,
for deposit.
Refundable deposit.
Yes.
You're going for consistency here.
Right.
Would a homeowner's insurance policy cover something like that?
No, I don't think so,
No,
unless you
no.
have a personal.
If I trip on the sidewalk,
No, but I'm wondering if you have to call your insurance company and say, hey, I'd like to do this, can you add a rider?
So
Or from this date to this
umbrella or
date.
something?
yeah, they'll know exactly what you're asking for, so
Yes.
in previous applications, we would frequently ask questions. We would actually write to, call your insurance agency for this document.
If you're gonna give them some direction on how to get this insurance, okay,
Good
okay,
point.
I get that part. Okay, so I'm okay with that, but I was just afraid we're gonna put some boilerplate on here and just say, hey, we need an insurance policy because your kid's gonna have a birthday party there.
No,
Scare people away, and it's gonna piss people off. It's not gonna be a very friendly type of situation.
Joe, I'm thinking of preventing liability of the time. If some kid falls and stumbles into a barbecue pit and gets hurt,
I get
in the long run, the town would be sued, it happened on town property, and they should be sued.
But how do
There
you,
should be some insurance required.
so my point is, is how do you get that across to somebody
Yeah.
without sounding like you're an ass?
Well,
I mean,
in this,
Well, there's a way to word it, and
It's-
we may
yeah.
sound like an
But
ass,
it's
but
a
that's what we have to do to
And
protect
if you wanna
ourselves.
have like a small little get together, for a party and you go to the gazebo with like 10 kids, it's different. Do you need a permit?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yes, I think
that's
that's
okay.
If you want it reserved, you want a permit, if you wanna be.
If you want to reserve. good.
Right, right.
yeah.
So it's a privilege of
Otherwise,
reserving
it's
the
first come,
facility.
first served.
Yeah.
If I said it's gonna cost you $100 to reserve the thing, and it's gonna cost you another $50 for your insurance company to get a rider, you might not be a very happy person.
But however, everybody here, I'm sure, has homeowners
Yeah.
insurance. What about renters
That's what she-
insurance?
Well, that's what he
That's
said,
right.
because people don't have.
Can one or two of you call your insurance companies and tell them that I'm doing some research on what we're talking about this, what if I wanted to do an event, an anniversary or family reunion?
Yeah, I could do that.
And the other reason for this document is, how do I judge who's a resident and not a resident?
Oh,
The address on the certificate of insurance is who the application needs to be made to.
That's right, yeah, I get that part,
Maybe
yeah,
start
yeah.
off with something a little simpler than that. Maybe come up with some ideas that we could look at the entire boilerplate. As opposed to arguing about just insurance like tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Kenny said too, I mean, maybe it's something we just ask legal, maybe there's a way to word it.
yes.
They sign it, you gotta show your proof of residency first anyways, right, your license. And maybe that's enough to cover us or waive liability, I don't know.
I would almost say add a dollar amount to the fee. And if the town could get the insurance on their behalf, additionally insured. Like, so let's say if you're gonna charge $100, you charge, okay, well, we're gonna have insurance now, so we're gonna charge you $150.
How do we know that the town's insurance doesn't already cover that stuff?
I don't know.
I think I'm using it for a couple of different, I have the ulterior motive of making sure that people that can well behave, will do well behave.
Yeah.
It brings it to a whole other cognizant level
Yeah.
when it's your insurance. The other thing is, we do have people, I think we all have met them, that comes in and says, I'm a resident, but really I'm getting it for my cousin from Woodbury.
Yeah, no.
Well, if it's a cousin's party, the cousin needs to, pay we get it, believe it or not, I think the person I got it the most from were churches, will always want to try to, well, we serve all of these communities and therefore, well, whatever your insurance is what we're gonna have to follow.
I mean, I supply the town with additional insurance for Special Olympic practice that we're using up at John Trumbull School.
Right.
So Connecticut Special Olympics gives me a rider, and I forward that to Gary. So because everything's on file, so if anybody falls off a bicycle, I get that. So when I'm dealing with a large entity, like Connecticut Special Olympics, it's nothing, it's a piece of paper for them, they go through their insurance company, they give them, they send me a copy with Watertown Special Citizens and also with the town of Watertown. That's, when you're dealing with a situation like that, I'm more concerned about the mom and pop. How are they, I don't wanna scare anybody off to try to get it, but if there's ways we can word it, so I'll reserve it until we get further.
Right, this is a project, this might be a 60 to 90 day project, maybe even 120 days.
And, yeah, maybe you can open up an insurance company.
But ideally, if we are going to change up the application, we want them for next spring. We wanna be able to roll them out January, February-ish. So this is just, this isn't even all inclusive of that, but there's a lot of them. So we're gonna start reviewing all of them. We're going to try, we invested in Adobe where we can now do something with documents. I don't think we invested that much.
Okay.
But we do have a shared file, so we can at least look at the version, but no, in terms of who can edit them, so we should be able to give you a mark that, like, if there's a change, you'll be able to see that change. I have made the mistake of rewriting things and not being able to know the original, and I was asked what was changed. I have no idea. No idea.
We're able to do that too.
Yeah. So we're gonna make sure that we try to at least be transparent about what changes are made, even if it's a smaller font, right, or a new logo.
One other suggestion, you might want to keep this as a separate document, so you don't have to go back to 50 documents and rechange the word. Point to the sentence.
Okay.
Some simple ones.
Take all the advice I can get.
No. but.
That's it under policy and
Special
procedures.
Larger.
Okay, one last thing under FYI. Liberty, so we're aware of it. Herb, you're explicitly involved with this. No, because member of the town council, we're all aware of the problems with the finance department. $33 million, okay? Money isn't missing. What happened was everything was dumped in one account. So you had mentioned the Staver earlier, and we gotta, and I will be religious about this, trying to stay on top of making sure that the accounts for Park and Rec are eventually rectified. Somebody's gonna have to go back for 2 years. Every transaction, right, has, and then if it's water and sewer, if it's public works.
Unfortunately, Bill, already, the newly hired finance director and the newly hired assistant finance director have already resigned. And applications are being,
Wait a minute,
they did leave.
the newly hired just resigned?
And the newly assistant, that was mentioned at the last town council meeting.
How new is
Maybe
this?
the one you weren't there at. I'm telling you, she did
I
already.
mean, Sue's at home,
Is
resigned.
back. She resigned, but she's back. She was gonna stay to train the new finance director.
So she is not resigned anymore, she's gonna stay on.
Because there is no new finance director. They were hired, the assistant and the finance director were hired. That's why at the last council meeting, we had to approve the new application requirements for
The job description.
the job description, you remember, yes,
So,
No, I'm sorry,
they resigned.
they're not new, the old ones resigned. Somebody else was hired and resigned already?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
so they hadn't even
lasted a month.
started
They
or?
haven't even
It
started?
lasted maybe a couple of weeks.
Really?
And maybe one of the issues was all of this.
Holy
And
shit.
Congress,
to step into, okay,
a big,
something 2 years ago,
Quagmire.
at the scope of $33 million.
That's-
And that's, I don't know the figure for this
I don't
last
have the
current
figure,
year.
no.
33 million was 2 years ago. I don't know, but
Okay, okay.
as a chairman of this commission, I will try to stay on top of it along with Mike. Because we have the Staver account, we have, what you call it, the dog account, there we have the social security account.
Bill, here's the list right here.
There we go. So we gotta make sure that when this is all done and over with. And in the meantime, I don't know how they're handling any more current stuff coming in. The Staver, what's the Staver have in it right now, according to that?
212,000.
Staver's 212,
Yes.
okay,
That's about right.
can
No, because that's the interest, we get the interest on $2 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
we zeroed it out 2 years ago. Between the tennis courts and everything, we had 72,000 last year and 88,000 this year.
but we didn't touch the principal.
Well, we don't.
We never touched, we do.
That's what I'm saying, the principal.
Yeah, this is
the
just what's
principal's-
been given to us so
That's
far.
fine.
Yeah, it says in the text that it still needs to be audited.
Yeah,
But I can use this as a baseline for now.
Yeah,
And then I am working on ways to, I had a question that came up this week where the donation came into the senior center. Well, I don't have an avenue necessarily to spend that money, so before I even deposited the money, because I don't feel comfortable taking a donation for somebody who thinks X, Y, Z is gonna happen as a result of that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. So I was able to confirm that there's an account, actually, we would use the food bank account for money in, money out.
just real quick on the Staver fund. You said what, 70 and then another 80?
we had 72,000 last year and 88,000 this year.
Okay, did we use the entire amount from the first, the year before?
It wasn't much. We use it to finish a dog park,
Right.
and dog parks are negative right now.
Yeah.
So the money was never transferred over,
Yep,
out and over.
Right, so that's what I was gonna say, there was probably some still residual from that first year. We didn't use it all on the dog park, so that's why
the
we're.
fund right now should be at 260,000, 160,000, but that's right.
No, that's just for 2 years, I'm saying it was probably residual that we have still from
The
No,
first year, we
No,
emptied it.
the first year, we sunk it all into the dog park to get the dog park done.
It was only the 15,000. It wasn't a ton of money the first year. But we
I
needed
thought
another,
it was like 20 or
we-
30.
we
That's why I
needed
was
another
like,
20,000 to finish the dog park or something.
mhm.
The fence, remember the fence was 10 grand?
Yeah.
You know,
And that's when we decided that because it was such a special circumstance, we allowed that account to go to a zero balance.
Mhm.
Then we say going forward, we always make sure that we will come up with a number, which we haven't, that we're gonna have a minimum, that it will never go below, so there'll always be something there for an emergency. So,
Alright, well, I don't know why they're not shows two.
that's why I said, Mike has it up there, that's great,
I'm still pissed.
but it's gonna be very hard to go along, and like I said, I don't blame people for resigning, I look into a mess like that and say, man, no, first of all, double my salary, maybe I might stick around.
Is this public knowledge?
I did not hear about that,
Yes.
just let you know.
About the job descriptions.
No, I'm talking about
The 33 million.
Oh, yeah, this
That was
is,
public knowledge. I haven't read this anywhere.
I never heard that.
And I would believe, I think Al would know.
Mark Rainbow, when he gave that
I've
dissertation,
heard that before too.
now, when he gave his dissertation 3 meetings ago, he mentioned that figure, and he said the money is not missing. He goes, it just misappropriated, they have to figure out where it goes.
It didn't say.
And he's
It-
33 million out there.
Well, you
So
said
what
there was,
you
there was
say.
33 million, okay, but he didn't, no one mentioned that there was no specific accounting for that. That's a little different.
No, there is a specific account, one account.
That's,
It's not specific to all the different accounts that the fund should have went into.
that certainly sounds like a screw up to me.
Oh, yeah.
Regarding us not liking the job descriptions, we sent them back, we didn't like them. It was brought up by Rachel Ryan, she was 100% right. The finance director has to be bonded, but the assistant, no, that's what they mention now, I have to tell you this. And the assistant finance director doesn't have to be bonded, but in the absence of the finance manager, the assistant finance director fills in as a, we said, this is ridiculous, ludicrous, we sent it back. They both have to be bonded, so they have to come out with the new job descriptions, because they were left in a lurch. Both of them left within.
The charter says there should be bonded anyway. The person that was not bonded was the assistant finance director.
well, that's,
Yes.
that isn't
But
us.
she was bonded, she was bonded.
Yeah, it's not.
This isn't us, guys.
Okay.
I know.
All right, enough.
I know,
Just so
so,
you know.
thank you.
As long as we got that list up there, and it gives us a heads up a little bit, keep an eye on what's going on and what's coming in. It's gonna take a while for somebody to go back over 2 years and go through all of this. So not gonna be an overnight fix.
So that wasn't my question about the state refund.
You started.
20 minutes later.
So the only thing I wanted to ask was, how are we doing with the ordinance to make sure that that money stays? It was gonna go to Jessel. We were gonna see if we can get it.
We have done nothing right now.
I do have an update.
Okay,
I broached that with Mark, and he doesn't think it's necessary. He thinks that the language in the endowment is clear enough.
From the Connecticut
It's always
Foundation.
good to check on their return.
yeah, I'll
There's no doubt.
okay.
That's-
So maybe have a conversation with Mark.
I'll ask Mark a question. I'm just.
It wouldn't be bad.
I mean,
Right.
just, I understand, Mark's the town manager right now. If Mark gets by a bus tomorrow and you get a new town manager in, he may not have the same thought process as Mark. That's my thing. I just want to protect the money. And if it goes through an ordinance, it stays where it's intended, where Jack Staver intended it to be. And that's my only concern about this whole.
Mine too.
I mean, so however that has to get accomplished, whether it's ordinance or whether it's something, some vehicle to make sure nobody touches that money. Because that, part of that money was already not in this, not in this group. In another group was already thought, hey, we got this money from the Jack Staver Fund, maybe we can use the money for X. And X was not part of what Jack Traver wanted to use it for, so it never happened.
Okay.
It was never used, but it's just a vehicle just to protect the money, that's all my intent here is, so.
If we ever get the audit, there's two types of funds. One's a special fund and one's a permanent fund. And the difference being, you can't touch the principal as a special permit.
Yeah, see, this is all above my pay grade from that, but I just wanna make sure we don't,
Yeah.
my money isn't rated, that's all my point is, right? So,
Good enough, thank you. Right, any? We have nothing else under E, so German,
Motion adjourned.
Second.
all those in favor?
I.
All those opposed? Abstaining?
It's bedtime.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you.
Here. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, guys, thank you, Bill.